Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to go ahead and start mapping all of the pieces that we have exported out from Maya. And like I said, we exported them out into our asset folder of our project file. So basically all we need to do is just load those into what you see as Roadkill 1.1 here. This is a free application, and if you Google it, it's from pullinshapes.co.uk, I think it is. And you can download the either the plugin for Maya or the standalone application is what I tend to use. And so let's go ahead and let's load our first object, which is, and I basically just want to do this down the line. So we're going to start at the top here, and we'll just do each individual one. And really, this shouldn't take us too long, simply because everything is pretty much quads that we've exported out. I mean, there's really no triangles in them, and it should really only take one or two cuts per object, and we should simply be able to go ahead and get them done fairly quickly. So let's go ahead and load in our back seat bottom here, and as you can see, it comes in and it's a fairly decent quadded system here. But what we need to do is we need to figure out how am I going to cut this in a way that's going to be logical, and in a way that's going to be easier to go ahead and texture it here. And the best way that I would say to go ahead and do this is just basically cut it in the middle, and it should give us a decent UV layout to pretty much just load and use a tileable texture on. So what I'm going to do here is just hit E on my keyboard, which is the edge mode, so that you can select them. And you can see here in the top that you have your edit, your edge mode, UV mode switches, in your textures. So we're just basically in edge mode here. I don't actually have to go ahead and select this. I'm just using the keyboard shortcut, and I'm just going to hit E, and I'll just double click the edge, and you can see there that it's grabbed the edge the whole way around the model. And then I'll just hit C, and you can see that it cuts it here. Now what I want to do is I basically want to say I don't want the entire thing cut in half. I'm going to go ahead and basically weld these back together. Okay, so I'll just reselect that edge, and since this is the front portion of the model, okay, I'm going to go ahead and deselect at least half of it. You know what, maybe a little less. So I'll go ahead and just reselect it here, and that should be good. Now I'm going to hit W, which is basically going to re-weld it back together, and then you can see that that is our seat shape and our seat UV. So I'll just go ahead and hit save, and that saves it as the project or the object there. And then we'll basically do the same here for the back seat top. Just hit E and select the entire model here, and I'm going to cut it back here in the back a little bit more. I'll just hit C to cut it, and then I'll just go ahead and re-weld it back together pretty much right here. Let's see where we've cut this. Okay, go ahead and do that, and I'm just gonna basically weld back half of it. Well, that isn't gonna work, so I mean, that's fine. That since we're gonna use a tileable texture, that shouldn't be too bad. So we'll just go ahead and save that, and then we'll load our front seat back. Basically just do the same here. I want to cut it pretty much in the back as far as I can, and then you can see that it's comes out, and it's a real quick layout. So we've saved that one. I'm going to go ahead and load the front seat bottom here. Basically do the same here, cut it in half. Okay, and then deselect them, re-weld them, and there's our front seat bottom. And now we'll go ahead and do the suitcase leather, which this shouldn't actually be too bad. So we'll just go ahead and basically cut here, and then we'll go ahead and basically just re-weld it back together. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this there as well. Go back a step or two because I actually don't want it on both sides. You only want to be able to cut the one side. And that looks good, so we'll go ahead and save that one. And we'll go ahead here and suitcase body, which is, you know, basically the 1/2. And since this is, you know, pretty much just one edge loop that we only have to cut here, we'll just cut the border edge. Just hit C, and you can see that it's gonna basically weld it the way that it should and give us a decent UV layout there. So we'll go ahead and save that, and we'll do the body too for the suitcase here, and it's just the same concept as we basically just want to cut the border edge, or, you know, close enough to the border edge, and then we'll just re-weld it back together, and it gives us a decent UV layout there. As you can see, I mean, we're gonna have to do a little bit of editing probably in Maya, but our initial cut there in UV layout is fine. And so we'll go ahead and start doing the suitcase handle here. We'll do the suitcase handle here. I'm just gonna cut basically just cut the ends off. Okay, we'll do the same here. There's our suitcase handle cut out. And then we'll go ahead and do our seat belts, which, I mean, these are going to be, you know, fairly simple because it's only going to basically be one cut. I only want to see if I can weld the one side back together. Okay. Oops. Hit load instead of save there. And then we'll do the second seat belt here. Just basically trying to cut these in the middle because, you know, I plan to use a tileable texture, and it's just going to make it easier if we just cut it in the middle. Go ahead and save seatbelt 3 there, and then we'll do seatbelt 4 here. It's the same thing pretty much over and over and over again. You just select the one edge, hit C, it cuts your UVs, and hit save, and that's all of our objects UV mapped. Then in the next lesson, we'll go ahead and import these all back into Maya and basically get ready to start texturing them.